Okay, guys, it's me, Damon, Mr. Foxy, Foxy Home Buyer, and I'm shooting a quick little meeting for you with you today because you got a little treat ahead of you. And what I mean by that is we're going to talk home inspections today. And I want to do this because I've gotten a lot of questions recently from folks. We do always when we purchase a home, we always get a home inspection. But from the questions that people have been asking me, our clients that we're buying homes from, they say, why would you even, I know I need a home inspection, but why is that even important? So I want to answer that question for you today. All right. And the person I'm going to help to fill in some of those gaps for you is none other than our guest today. Her name is Victoria Wyatt, and she actually, her and her husband, help us out with all of our home inspections over at Florida Home Inspections. Well, I'm gonna have her. I usually butcher names. Everybody knows that. So I'm gonna have her tell you the name of the company and kind of what they do for us as well. So Victoria, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Hi, Damon. I am with First Florida Home Inspection.
Right.
We are a full service residential, like commercial home inspection company. So we do a variety of inspections. We cater to the client. So whatever you might need is what we do. But traditionally, we do home inspection, full reports, pre inspections, pre drywall, new construction, 11-month warranty. Sometimes if you're just in the home and you want to know the condition of your home, we do that. And insurance inspections, we all love those here in Florida.
Oh yeah. Oh
Been
yeah.
a handful with all the changes. And then air quality and mold sampling, we do that as well.
Okay, cool. So that was a mouthful, right? You obviously, when you say full service, you mean it for sure. Okay, so let's talk about why someone would even want a home inspection. I know for us, we're buying homes average, anywhere between 150 all the way up to 500,000. So when we're purchasing homes for us, when we go and buy a home, hire someone to do a home inspection, your company, we want to know what's wrong with it, right? That's essentially what we want to know. Is there anything behind the scenes that we obviously don't know, but maybe even the seller doesn't know that could be a problem after we buy it? That's what we want to do it, right? That's why we hire you.
Mhm.
But for anybody out there that's maybe a homeowner, right? And they have a home and they might be getting it ready for sale. Um, what are some of the things that they ought to kind of know that home inspections will provide for them? Like, what are some things that you guys uncover for people?
Sure, it's really important. So, a lot of times people live in a home for a very long time, so they don't even know what the condition of their home is. They
Right.
don't know the condition of the systems of their home. Everything's working fine for them, but until they get it inspected, they won't know. And it really allows you to know what major or minor concerns or issues that may come up. Because if you're selling a home, somebody's going to be getting a home inspection that's buying. So, you want to get ahead of the curve,
Yep.
know what you're looking for, know what might pop up. Major things are more important. Little knick-knack things aren't so big. But you don't want a lot of deficiencies on your report. And it also helps you price your home properly to sell quickly. So if you're ahead of the curve and you know and you address these issues prior to, then the buyer's going to have more confidence in buying your home because there's going to be less deficiencies on the report when they do the inspection.
Mm. So it's kind of like I'm just trying to think, kind of
Mhm.
like how I could think about it simply. It's kind of like getting a checkup, right? If you guys were like doctors, you be giving people a checkup before they go and sell. You're giving your house a checkup, pretty much. Does that sound
Absolutely.
about right?
Yes, and it
All
tests
right.
your four major systems, which are the most costly, and your roof is extremely important. Your HVAC, your
Okay.
electrical, and your plumbing. Those
Okay.
are the major concerns and structural.
So it's roof, AC. What's the other one? Plumbing and electrical. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So those are the four things that you guys focus on. So when you do those things, obviously for us too, right? When you get those reports, then we're like, all right, cool. Those are the major items. And then what other things do you guys look for? Like what are typical things that you keep an eye out for, so you make sure that people that your buyer, right? Because you usually work for the buyer if
Mhm.
you're in most cases, right? Does that sound like you're usually working for the person buying the property?
We work with a lot of buyers, homeowners, buyers, sellers. insurance agents. We work with multitude. And so depending on who you're working for is what's most important for them.
Okay.
But most common things that you find as a home inspector, double taps an electrical panel, which could potentially be a fire hazard.
Mm.
That is, you have too much, it's loading the circuit. Sometimes if you have an older home and we have all the new electronics, you have kids that are on umpteen devices and it overloads the system, and sometimes it's not equipped to handle the circuit that's coming through. So that's really important to know if it's hot, the panel's hot, and Eric will use thermal imaging as well. So it's something that the naked eye cannot see. And another big thing is not having a drainage system, which is gutters. A lot
Okay.
of people have gutters, or if they do
Right.
have gutters, they don't have it. The downspout isn't facing away from the home, which is important because depending on your grading, it can go to the home and it can damage your foundation.
Uh-huh.
Just for that.
So
So it's really important.
yeah, it sounds like two really good things. I mean, number one, you said like the electrical box. Nobody wants a fire, right? So I got that. So that's one thing that you guys look out for 100% just to make sure. And I never even thought of that, right? It's because we have all these high power electronics,
Mhm.
and some of these wiring systems are from like 70s and 80s. So yeah, if you got more stuff plugged in, that could overwork the system. So that's good to know. And the downspout thing, that's something I've even been a culprit of myself. You know, when we bought our first house here in Riverview years ago, Florida, I know for dang sure we didn't have gutters, and it would just run right down, right down next to the foundation. So yeah, I could see that for sure.
We don't have basements here. So if some people think, oh, it's not a big deal, it's a big deal if it's going to your foundation. So, and the roof is extremely important.
Uh-huh.
You don't have a solid roof, you don't have anything underneath, because if that starts leaking, that it trickles down.
You're
So,
in trouble.
yeah. So
Yeah.
these are really important to understand, the four major systems, and your structural. So when you do a home inspection, it's going to be the roof to foundation and everything in between.
Hmm. That's fantastic.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, I think that's having that information, the home inspection, we swear by it. We don't buy any home without getting a home inspection, and I think a lot of times too, for us, it also gives us, as a buyer, gives us a lot more clarity. Like sometimes we'll get in a situation with a seller and we'll say, hey, Damon, I just don't know, and it gives kind of like an independent view
Mhm.
for us to know what's up with the property. And it really helps the seller sometimes, I found, because when you're there and you're saying, hey, look, you didn't know anything about the property necessarily, but here's what's going on. The roof is not in as bad a shape, but the AC is pretty much shot. Like, it gives people just peace of mind to know like what's going on, and it allows them to just make a better decision, it sounds like. So that's something I think is really special about what you guys do. You're not playing for one team. You're just
No,
facts.
we're not here to make or break a deal. We're here to give you
Yeah.
the tools necessary to make an educated decision for yourself and what you need to go. And if anything, it just gives you an idea of what, when you're buying a home, of course, there's going to be things that you have to upgrade and things that, you're going to improve. But what's important? What's your 3 to 5 year plan? What potentially could be an expense that's coming up? And
Mhm.
that helps you budget. And for most people, you can deal with any situation as long as you know about it. And
For
it
sure.
helps you prepare.
For sure.
And
Well,
it
that's
helps you negotiate for the price.
Oh yeah, absolutely. On the seller side too, because I'll tell you one thing: when we go to sell properties, after we do renovations or what have you, it's not uncommon that once we do, we address all the items that we got when we bought it. Like, we're doing a flip right now in St. Petersburg. Um, you know, uh, for Victoria and her company, they actually did the inspection first. So whatever outstanding issues there were in that inspection, we're going to make sure that we fix. Because what happens is, when it comes time for the next person to buy, guess what? When they get their home inspection, we want to know that it's going right through. They're not going to have any problem. So I think on the seller side, I mean, it's a good way to just get information about what you are up against, and it gives you, like you said, more negotiation power. Because if I know everything is good and somebody comes in and offers me a lowball offer, I'm just like, hey, we don't have any time for you. We're on to the next one. So
Exactly. It makes you more confident in your property that you're selling. And a
yeah,
lot of people don't realize that new builds are very important to get an inspection for.
really,
They think that, oh, there's building
yeah,
inspectors, they come out there, but it's extremely important because everything is subcontracted out to companies.
okay,
And especially with the shortage of supplies with COVID and manufacturing's behind, sometimes there you don't know if there's some shortcuts or somebody got distracted. There's human nature. I don't think people intentionally not do their job properly,
for
but
sure. We'd hope not. Yeah,
we have good and bad days, but unfortunately, some of them are building and we're not. So, I mean, Eric went on a roof and it was a beautiful home. He thought no deficiencies, and there was 15 foot of roof line shingles that were missing. They
okay,
were torn off. They were missing. Somebody got sidetracked, thought they finished, and moved on to the next home. So, there's things that happen. They're human. There's
sure,
things that, and so an 11-month inspection is very important because not only do you want an inspection before you move in and you close, but it's important to get the 11-month inspection because you lived in a home for 10-ish months and you're wanting those systems consistently, and
right,
that's where you can uncover some settling, some different issues with the systems. Because when we do the inspection initially, you're turning it on and off to make sure it works. But once you're using them for months on end, then you start to see if there's any issues and things. And
yeah,
so it's important because after that 11th month, most builders, you're on your own. So you report it and they pay for it. But once that warranty period ends, it's all on
period, yeah.
you.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That one's a huge nugget because I think if you're buying a new home, you would think like, oh man, everything's brand spanking new. So don't worry about it. But what you're saying is what you guys will offer is that 11-month inspection right before it ends, right? That cutoff date where, hey, we gave you the warranty, you're on your own. That's when you want to go in and just get one other independent look so that they can go out and you guys can go out and then give
Mm-hmm.
them an independent report and say, hey, if there's anything wrong, here it is, and you guys got to fix it before that timeline. Does that sound about right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Wow. I knew
Me,
you do. I know you do a lot. Yeah, I know you guys do a lot for sure. All right. Well, cool. So look, I want to just have you on here to introduce you to our potential clients, customers, partners, everybody that works with us. We like to bring as much content, much helpful information as we can. So for anyone that's watching here, how can they, if they have any questions about home inspections, just general questions, I'm sure you'll be available to answer. How do they get in touch with you, Victoria? What's the best way for them to reach out to you in First Florida?
They can call 813-803-7619.
Okay. One more time for the recording.
813-803-7619.
Okay. All right.
You can look us up online at firstflorida.com, firstfloridahomeinspection.com, excuse me,
Right.
or you can email me. It's very long.
It's a super long one, right?
Those are
But
super long. It's
right.
victoria.wyatt, WYATT, at first, FIRSTFL for Florida, home inspection singular.com.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. That's a long one. But lucky for you, if you're watching this in replay, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna put all the information here in the comment section description for you guys. Okay. So yeah, I wanted to say thank you for coming on here, Victoria. Your relationship, the relationship with you and Eric and your company has been fantastic so far. We're very grateful to have you part of our network and what we're doing, just helping people one home at a time, to help, purchase their home if they're looking to sell. Our goal is to be number one home buyer in all the state of Florida, and you guys are helping us to do that. So we appreciate you coming on today.
I
And
appreciate you having me, and we thoroughly enjoy working with you. You have fun projects to work on, and it makes each day more exciting, and you learn something new every day.
That's the call for sure. Well, appreciate you too, for sure, for being here. So, thanks again, guys, for tuning in real quick. This is Damon Hart with Victoria Wyatt at First Florida Home Inspections, just coming to you with a little bit of tip. Hope you guys took some value from it. What I'm going to ask for you to do right now, for more information just like this, we're going to ask you to just subscribe. Click that subscribe button right now. And then you're going to get updates like this when they come out. And also like the page. It really helps us on the algorithm to get more people out there and more of our info seen, so you can get informed when we have updates. Okay. So for now, thanks for tuning in. Until the next video, this is Damon Hart with Victoria Wyatt, just signing off and letting you know what to do. That's right. Keep it foxy. Till the next one, guys.
Bye.